Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. This is a special time of the year where I live. The sun rises right above the country road next to the house that we live. And it is a moment that I call it the Stonehenge moment. It always gives me the sense of the past of time. And I can understand why ancients celebrate this astronomical phenomenon. Recently, a viewer wrote to me and asked me about rice noodles. She is allergic to gluten, and she would like to find a substitution for wheat noodles. And she heard about rice noodles, and she wanted to know, how did you cook rice noodles? Now, it turned out that I really love rice noodles. I grew up as a child, have a lot of opportunities to eat rice noodles. Now, one friend of mine, Rebecca, she went to Vietnam about 5 years ago. And she discovered that rice noodle is extremely popular in Vietnam. In fact, there's a dish in Vietnam known as pho, which is spelled P-H-O. It's a noodle dish, which is a noodle with soup. And you can use different type of ingredients to create this noodle soup. Now, rice noodles originated in southern part of China. And the reason for the development of rice noodles is historically it was known that the first emperor of China, the Qing Emperor, after he unified China about 2,000 years ago, he sent his government official to the south. And since his official came from the north, which they eat a lot of noodles, but in the south they only have rice, but they don't have noodles. So some of the officials commissioned the local to create rice noodles. Now, rice noodle turned out to be extremely easy to make. In fact, this is where template-based cooking play a very important role because you can cook rice noodles exactly the same way as you would cook wheat noodles. In this case, I cooked the rice noodles in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. As I've mentioned earlier in my previous video in the boiling wheat noodles, the wok is perfect for this purpose because of its large opening. It's able to accommodate the noodles without having to break them apart or to bend them. And in this case, the rice noodles can be cooked in exactly the same way. Boiling rice noodles is very easy. It is faster than boiling wheat noodles. But there are different kinds of rice noodles. They are different in thickness. The thin noodles tend to boil much faster. In this particular case, this particular version of rice noodles takes only about 3 or 4 minutes to boil to the texture that I want. However, there are many different brands of rice noodles. Some of the brands, they are being manufactured differently, so they have different capacity for absorbing water. So in this case, the boiling time might be slightly different. And also, rice noodles, like wheat noodles, can differ in thickness, just like the regular pasta noodles versus angel hair pasta noodles. So in this case, obviously the thin noodles will take shorter time to boil. Most of the time, when you purchase rice noodles, they will provide recommendations of how long you should boil the rice noodles. However, I discover under different circumstances, this recommendation might not be accurate. So the best way is to do a taste test to find out the type of texture that you want your rice noodle going to be. I usually like my rice noodles to be more on the al dente texture because this way will allow you to have greater flexibility later on when you make rice noodle soup, which I will demonstrate to you later. This particular brand of rice noodles takes only about 4 to 5 minutes to boil to the texture that I want, so it is extremely fast and very convenient. I boil the entire bag of rice noodles. One thing is very important in boiling rice noodles is that you need to stop this from cooking by transferring to a bowl of cold water. And it is very important you rinse the rice noodle thoroughly with cold water, because rice noodles give out a lot of starch, more starch than wheat noodles. So washing them will allow you to remove the starch and make the rice noodles flavor and texture much better. The texture of rice noodle is quite different from wheat noodles. Rice noodles tend to have a more elastic and bouncy texture, which what I really like about them. Now, rice noodles have an excellent shelf life. In fact, you can store them for about a week to 10 days. And you can use them whatever amount you want when you are ready to make a rice noodle soup. I find that the best way to use rice noodles is to first store them in the refrigerator. And then I will take the portion that I want and I will pour hot water into the bowl. And this actually will help me to warm up the rice noodles. This essentially performs the same function as you find in a rice noodle restaurant. In this case, they will take cold rice noodles and they will put it into a container and dip it into a bowl of boiling water. Therefore, I can repeat the same process at home by first soaking them in the boiling water and then I will pour out the water. This essentially serves the same purpose as warming up in a pot of boiling water. Most of us would like our noodle soup warm or even hot. So in this case, the best way is to make sure that the noodles are warmed up in advance. Therefore, it will not cool down the soup that you are going to make. The soup that I create is simple but delicious. I start out with approximately 1 teaspoon of my wok with tak basic seasoning mix. This will provide the soup a strong umami flavor, and it will make the soup truly flavorful and savory. And then I add approximately half teaspoon of a spicy sesame oil. And this is followed by, to increase the saltiness, I add approximately 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Now the soup of a rice noodle soup, it turned out to be really important. In the case of a pho, which is the Vietnamese version of this rice noodle soup, the soup usually created by using many types of ingredients. This includes soup bones and many different kinds of herbs and spice. The soup will be simple for a long time to create complex flavor. Of course, when you do it at home, you don't have time to create this type of soup. So this is probably a good compromise and create a soup that you probably will find it quite enjoyable. Now, when it comes to a noodle soup, you need to complement it with different type of fresh ingredients or cooked ingredients. In this case, I'm going to use some fresh spinach that happen to be in my advanced prepping. Now, choose different type of ingredients is very much of a personal choice, and you can use all different type of approach that you would like. For example, sometimes it is great to use leftover. And in this case, you can create different versions of this soup based on what you have on hand. Advanced prepping will allow you to use a different type of fresh ingredients. So consequently, this is a very flexible approach in how you're going to complement the noodle themselves. Now, quite often, you might not want to have any type of ingredients at all. You might want to just have this noodle soup by itself. But a lot of time, if you want to create a meal, such as a lunch or make it a dinner, this would be a good way to supplement the type of nutritional quality that you are looking for. The end result is that this makes it extremely flexible. Now, this approach in creating this rice noodle soup is really a template approach because the same approach can be used in any other type of noodle soup. For example, you can use it in a ramen noodle soup. So what I am demonstrating to you here is that this is the essence of template-based cooking. Through template-based cooking, using a basic template, a similar set of approach, by making substitutions, it will allow you to create many different versions. And template-based cooking makes it easy for you to create diversities in your diet. And more importantly, it will make your home cooking more interesting, because the end result is that you can create many different type of dishes without trying to start out with a new recipe. So because of this reason, I strongly recommend you to try template-based cooking. And this noodle dish is a good example of demonstration that you can substitute rice noodles with almost any other type of noodles that you would like. So I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine, so that you can make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun using my fast cooking system. And if you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.